Hi, my name is Adam Blonden and I will be your teacher today for this time management course. I think time management is one of the most important skills for everyone, but it is something that a lot of us lack. In this course, I hope to break down the exact steps you need to be able to have a properly structured day with things like setting a routine, keeping away distractions, and so much more. If you're interested in this topic, I think this course will really impress you, and I look forward to seeing you in the first class. Okay, so what is time management exactly? So time management is the act of, managing one's time, obviously. But it comes down to a little bit more than that. Our goal isn't to just manage time, but our goal is to manage time in a way that allows us to produce more things, that allows us to increase our productivity in the end and get more outcomes. So what time management really is managing your time in a way that allows you to produce more things, allows you to produce more outcomes, allows you to be more productive. So that being said, why is it important? I think the biggest reason that time management is important is because we want success. And success doesn't come from spending 3 hours a day on Instagram or spending a bunch of hours playing video games. It comes from, having a properly managed day that allows you to make good progress and that allows no time for distractions. You don't see the people who are all the way at the top playing video games, having poorly managed time, not having a schedule, not knowing what to do. You see them with most of them with a well-structured day, and they know what they're going to be doing, they know what to do, and they know how to do it, and they know exactly what hour they're going to be doing at, and they execute it. And I think that's why time management is important, because all of us, everyone in the world, wants to be successful. Maybe you don't want to be rich, maybe you don't want to have all the fancy shiny cars and the nice house and stuff, but in the end we all want to succeed in some way. And time management is one of the easiest and most efficient ways to be successful and to reach your level of success that you want to get to faster. So having the right tools and tips and tricks to make sure that you make every day productive will make a tremendous difference in your end result of how successful you end up becoming. With that being said, the next lecture is going to be on setting a routine so that every single day is productive and as efficient as possible. Alright, so for the first class project, I want to just keep it nice and simple. So what I want you to do is just grab a piece of paper, just a simple little piece of paper like this, and I want you to write down why time management is important to you. Now it's different for everyone and I can't say why it's important to you, but spend a little bit of time, spend a few minutes thinking about what is your goal with time management. And this makes it a lot easier to implement the other steps because you'll know what the goal of doing all of this is for. Then after you're done that, you can move on to the next lecture. So time management is, time management. It's having the proper managing of your time. Now, you can't just manage time without having an actual schedule and a routine to manage it and sort it through. So this is where making a routine comes into place, and I see a lot of beginner mistakes and a lot of mistakes people make with setting a routine. So that's why in this lecture I hope to break down 1, the mistakes most people make, and 2, exactly how to make an actual good routine that you, 1, don't get overwhelmed from, and you also can stick to every single day without feeling burnt out and without feeling like it's boring and you don't enjoy it. You'll find the days that you don't have a routine are normally the days where you end up slacking and going on YouTube Shorts or going on Instagram. So you might have tried the regular, average person routine where they just write down a bunch of stuff where they're like, alright, it's wake up, brush teeth, get coffee, do this task, do that task, go, do all these tasks. And you probably felt overwhelmed from doing that, and I can't lie, I've been guilty of this many times in my life, of setting this type of schedule, and you don't really stick to it, and then it looks good on paper, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna wake up, and then coffee, and then this, but it never ends up working out because you're just spread so thin that you never really make the progress in the things you actually need to make progress from. So when it comes to making a routine, less is honestly better. The less things you have, the less clutter you have in your routine, the more time you'll be able to dedicate to the things that actually are going to make progress and will lead you to the success that you want. And it seems like common sense, but I see a lot of people making this mistake. And even if I just show you a photo of my routine from, I think about 6 months ago, it might look good to you at first glance, but I never stuck to this routine because it was so scattered and I had so many things going on that I didn't really know what was important. So my time would be spread out kind of thin, and then I wouldn't really know what I should be actually genuinely focusing on, and therefore most of the time I wouldn't do it. I would get overwhelmed and I would instead spend my time on Instagram. So instead of setting a long laundry list routine like this where you honestly are just going to get overwhelmed and it's not going to be that fun, we want to set a routine following the Pareto principle, which is the 80-20 rule. Basically meaning 80% of the results you want, 80% of the success, 80% of the outcome you want from your day can probably be summarized to around 20% of the actual tasks that you're doing. This might seem like a shock. You might be like, no, there's no way, like, bro, 20% of the stuff I do won't result to 80% of the outcome. But that's why the last class project was important. We need to know what reason, why you want to manage your time properly, because that's the outcome we're going to be setting up time management for. If the outcome is to make a good YouTube channel, well then 80% of the results and 80% of the success to that YouTube channel will be from scripting YouTube videos, filming them, editing them, doing that type of stuff. So that's the 20% of things. You won't be making better YouTube videos by, I don't know, going for a run. So to reference the last piece of paper that we did where we wrote down why we wanted to do time management, now we're going to figure out what's the 20% of tasks that will get us to that point, that will get us to this goal of time management. And that's how we're going to set this routine up. Okay, so for this class project, what we're going to want to do is we're going to set a routine tonight before we go to bed using the principles we learned in this lecture. So you're going to want to set a routine that's around 3 to 6 tasks long, and you're going to want to have them just be major focuses. So for example, if you put down reading, don't just put down, okay, yeah, I'll go read for 15 minutes. Allow yourself to actually have the time to get into a good reading flow. So give yourself 2 hours to read. Now you actually have a proper amount of time to really get a lot of knowledge from reading. So if reading is what's going to be really important tomorrow and reading is what you want to set, write down that. And then you could also share your schedule in the class projects. I would love to see them, and I'm sure other people would like to reference them. Now, the thing I hear a lot of people say when it comes to time management is like, yeah, but then if I manage my time well, and then I sort out my time and stuff, what will I do with all the extra free time I'll have? Because, you know, I cut out the extra tasks, so then I only have a few hours to do the main important tasks. Now what do I do? Well, I'm bored and, you know, I could just go on Instagram or something. Now we first need to understand that the people who normally say this aren't really successful people. The people who say like, oh, but like I don't have anything to do. Come on, bro. Like, I'm sure you have some type of hard task that needs to get done that you're just avoiding, and that's why you say, oh, well, I have nothing to do, so like, can I watch an episode of Rick and Morty now? No, you can't. Maybe, I mean, you can. I can't stop you from it. But it's better to do these other things that we're going to be talking about. So typically people who say this are making one of two mistakes. So number one, the first mistake they're making is that they're not actually spending enough time on the tasks that they know they should do. They spend like a good 30 minutes to an hour doing like some scripting, doing some filming, doing whatever, doing their job or their work, or they're probably working for longer than that. But they spend their time, you know, they do that, but they don't actually allow themselves enough time to make serious progress in it. So then they finish everything early and they're like, well, now I have extra time now and I don't have anything to do, so should I just watch Instagram? Should I just watch YouTube? So a simple solution would just be to spend more time doing the things you know you need to do. Instead of adding more stuff, instead of being like, okay, well, I'm out of the stuff to do, so should I add more stuff? Should I do more stuff? Should my next routine include 12 things instead of 6? You should actually just spend more time doing the things that you already have on your list, that you already have set up on your routine. And the second mistake they're making is that they're not actually allowing themselves any time to be bored. Now, boredom is not a curse. It's not a curse to be bored, and it's not a bad thing either. Boredom is actually pretty good for your brain, and it allows you to think and it allows you to reflect on your life and, well, see if you're doing the right things. So this is kind of a cope, because you can do one of these two things. You can either set more time away to do the actual tasks that you know you need to do, or you can simply be bored and wait till you think of something that you genuinely need to do. So spend some time, stare at a wall, you know, just be bored once you're done all the things that you're doing, and you'll actually find that even just staring at a wall, being bored, you'll come up with some ideas. Maybe you come up with some new copywriting for your business or something, this allows you time to think. It allows you time to process what you've done with the day so far and see if maybe you needed to put a little bit more time into something earlier. Now you can go back to that. So after you've done your routine, it's better just to be bored rather than being like, oh, well, I should stimulate myself now. All right, so the class project is just going to be simple. I just want you guys to just stare at a wall for 20 minutes today. It's pretty simple. No music, no anything, maybe even just like a piece of paper and a pen to write down what you're thinking of if you get a good idea. But for 20 minutes, set a full 20-minute timer, just do nothing. Just sit down, be peaceful, be focusing on your breath, just be relaxing and see what comes to you. Because you might have been told that it's not good to be bored, but you can actually come up with some really good ideas being bored. And quite a few of my YouTube videos that I make on my normal YouTube channel have been from being bored and been thinking like, all right, what do people suffer with? All right, this is that. If I was always trying to stimulate myself, trying to find something to stimulate myself with, I wouldn't get as many good ideas. So spend 20 minutes just looking at a wall and being bored, and then go to the class project section and let me know how your experience with it was and some of the good ideas you came up with. Alright, so what are the highest ROI things to do with your time? I'm sure this is the part that all of you have been the most excited for, because most of the time I hear people say like, no, just tell me what to do with my day. Like, I don't want to learn all this, how to set a routine and stuff. Just tell me the exact things I need to do to be successful, man. But it doesn't really work like that, because it's all personalized. It depends on your goals. It depends on where you want to go in life, what you want to do. So instead, I'm going to give you the highest ROI activities almost summarized so that you have an idea of what type of things you should be doing. So number one, the first highest ROI thing that you should be doing, or that is one of the best things you could be doing, is learning. Now, this includes reading books, watching podcasts, speaking with intelligent people, just doing anything where you can learn something new, where you can gain some type of new knowledge that you can later go share with people, or that you can later use to improve your life. So that's something that will give you a major return on investment, because spending 30 minutes to watch a podcast or to watch a course like this, and then getting hours and constant days of having saved time and having whatever, is worth your time. It's worth the 30 minutes, it's worth the however long this course is going to be, to get the knowledge that you're going to get. So that's the first highest ROI thing to do with your time. It's learning. The second is mindfulness. So spending more time to meditate, to journal, to go for walks, to reflect, to think about how your life is going, and to see what you need to change and what you need to do to improve your life. This has a major ROI, because spending more time on yourself and spending more time to learn more about how your brain works, what type of things stress you out, being more mindful, being more present, will help you with your entire life. Going for walks and stuff, seeing nature, it just gives you a happiness inside. It just gives you a feeling that you can't really get from most other things, and that's why it's one of the highest ROI activities that you can be doing. The third is experience / going out and doing stuff. Obviously, this is a big ROI thing, because you need experiences. At the end of the day, all this work is nice, all this stuff is nice, but it's easy to get caught up in the grind and to be caught up in the working, and to just be caught up only doing work and then just going to bed and then work and then repeat it and do it again and again and again. So you need to have some experiences, and this could mean that you are going on a hike with some friends, that you're going to a water park, going skiing if it's snowy or something out where you live. Doing things that give you some experience, doing things that also provide you with some knowledge, some peacefulness. So it kind of ties together with the other two, because you might learn on your experience, you might also find some peace and some mindfulness on your experience, and you'll also just get to enjoy yourself and, see the world and go around and try out new things, which is a really high ROI thing in my opinion. And the final one is fitness, exercise, health, that big category of stuff, because you put in an hour to go work out, and your hour compounds and it compounds and compounds, and it ends up to the point where, say you live till you're 80 and your health is so good that you live for another 10, 20 years, you live to your 100 or something, because of how much time you put into the gym and how much time you spent learning about health. And the ROI is actually better on that than it is for putting in the time now. So fitness, health, exercise, it's all delayed gratification. You're putting in the work now, you're spending the time now, so that in the future you can enjoy the body that you have, you can enjoy the health that you have, you can be healthy, happy, you can feel better with your life, So putting more time into exercise and health is never really a bad thing. And you can't really go wrong with spending more time exercising or learning more about exercise and dieting and stuff. These 4 things will provide you with the highest return on your time, opposed to like Instagram or something that actually has a negative ROI, because your return on the investment of your time is negative because you don't really learn anything. It's kind of bad for you. It fries your dopamine receptors. It's just overall not that good. But these are things that give you a positive, and not just positive, but a very, very high ROI. So for this lectures class project, I want you guys to pick 1 or all 4 of these things and incorporate it in some way to your routine. If your routine is go to work and then, get a coffee in the morning, do this, do that, right? I want you guys to put in one of these things, maybe go out and get a little experience, or all of them. Put in, go get an experience, go for a walk, go to the gym, be mindful, read a book. You can put in all of them if you want, but then it might get a little cluttered. So find at least one of these things that you think, all right, yeah, I'm going to incorporate that today, maybe try the next one tomorrow, maybe try the different one the next day, and incorporate some of those things in your routine, and let me know how that goes in the class project section. Alright, so the tools and tricks for managing your time. Now, most of the stuff all comes down to the fundamentals, making a routine, making sure you're not distracted, doing one of the higher ROI things with your time. But there's also some tools, some tricks, some apps that will help you with setting a routine and with having a good time management schedule. So, starting off with the first one, which is getting an app like Notion to help you with your daily tasks. So you can just get a little app like Notion, and it can be pretty satisfying to check off those little boxes after you do your tasks, so that could help. But I would just be very careful with online websites that help you set schedules, because it's easy to get carried away and it's easy to set, you could set an infinite list of stuff. So it's easy to set a pretty long schedule on there, so still make sure you keep it to 3 to 6 tasks for the day. Next, I would recommend you turn on focus mode on your phone. So this just ensures that you're not getting notifications throughout the day when you're trying to manage time, because it's easy to get a quick notification and then go on to scroll on Instagram or to go on YouTube or something. So this just ensures that you don't get distracted and end up ruining your routine. And finally, it will help you to keep a little daily journal, and this might be hard and you might not do it every day, but if you keep a little daily journal of your progress, what things you found worked well, what things you found didn't really work well and that didn't really make you that productive, and to just keep this journal up for a little while to really optimize your routine, that will help you, because then you'll be able to look back, see what worked well, see what days and what things made you more productive, and then really hone in and optimize those things. Really make sure that those are the things that you are putting in your next routines and putting in your future routines, because that's what it's all about. I mean, when you first start out, it's going to be hard. You're going to be setting stuff and then it might not work. But if you keep a routine, you'll get to the end point of having a really good time management schedule a lot quicker, because you'll be able to look back on previous mistakes. You'll be able to look back on things you did wrong, things you did right, and that will just help you overall. Alright, so for the final class project, I want you guys to grab your phone right now and turn on focus mode or do not disturb, and also go to the store, buy a nice little journal and a nice pen that you enjoy writing with, and keep a daily journal of your progress. And you can also set a schedule on Notion or something and get that app, but keep a daily journal of your progress, and then come back to the class project section and let everyone know how your experience with it was, what things you learned, some common mistakes you made or something like that. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. Alright, so we have just about made it to the end of this shorter little class where I explain time management. We're just going to finally go over a summary of everything so that you can get an overall idea of exactly how to manage your time. So we first started off by making a routine. We made the routine, we're keeping it to 3 to 6 tasks a day, and we're following the 80-20 Pareto principle rule of 80% of the results you want will come from 20% of the tasks. And to figure out what 80% results we want from our day, we started off by making an overall goal with why we need to manage our time and why time management is important to us specifically. Next, we allowed ourselves to be bored. We weren't always stimulating ourselves, so once we ran out of stuff to do, or once we didn't really have anything to do anymore, we allowed ourselves to be bored, and we actually figured out a good idea we could do, or we figured out something we missed earlier on in one of the other things that we were doing in the day that we can go back to and improve on. Third, we spent at least some amount of time every day doing one of the 4 or all of the 4 highest ROI activities. And just as a reminder, these were learn, mindfulness, experience, and exercise. And finally, we're gonna put this all into an app like Notion or some other type of scheduling app to make sure everything is organized and nice and neat. And then we're also gonna turn on focus mode on our phone to make sure we don't get distracted. And finally, we'll keep a little daily journal where we can write down our progress and come back to it in the future and just see what we did wrong, see what we did right, and focus on what we did right and get rid of what we did wrong. All right, congratulations. This is the end of the class. You've made it all the way. I hope this video provided you with the tools, the tips, the tactics you need to set a really good routine and to set a really solid schedule so that you can move on in the future and just make a lot more progress towards your goals. If you did enjoy this, I'd really appreciate if you went down and you left a little positive review and you also left a little comment. I'd love to see them, and if you guys got any criticism for it or for any future classes that you want to see, please let me know in the comments and I would love to see it and I would love to take your recommendations. Also go check out my main YouTube channel where I do advice kind of like this, just in a shorter format. It is Adam Blondin, so just my name on YouTube. Hopefully this entire course helped you out, and I look forward to seeing you in some future classes potentially. And as always, be a doer, not a thinker, and I'll see you in the next one.